When was the last time you felt a deeper truth being communicated to you alone? As one of the chosen individuals, you have a unique perception, a one-of-a-kind perspective from which the cosmos can be experienced and understood. Through this gift, you are able to comprehend and connect with the higher spiritual realities that set you apart from the majority. In this journey, we will unearth the profound duties and heavenly insights that define your journey. Get ready to explore the distinct pathways that designate you as an intermediary between the earthly and the divine. You have a unique perception of the necessity of letting go of the past in order to unleash your inner potential, and you are just on the verge of experiencing a spiritual regeneration. This is not simply about moving on. Rather, it is a privileged awareness of how letting go of your previous identities can spark a metamorphosis that is profound, divine, and absolutely important for your climb. Because of the wisdom that you possess, you are able to realize that the past is not merely a collection of occurrences, but rather a chain that has the potential to tie your spirit. The weight of each memory and every previous interaction is significant. With these weights, you can either be anchored to a solid and sturdy foundation, or you can be dragged down into the depths of what was, which will inhibit your climb to what could be happening. You are aware that in order to ascend to higher planes of spiritual actuality, these bonds need to be broken. This is not done out of contempt for what they represented. Rather, it is done out of a requirement for what you need to become. Participating in rituals and meditations that are specifically designed to cater to your profound journey is the means by which you facilitate this sacred release. These rituals are not general ceremonies that any soul can execute. Rather, they are individualized to the vibrations of the essence of a particular individual who has been selected. Take into consideration the potent meditation known as the Circle of Fire, in which you imagine yourself standing in the middle of a ring that is ablaze with intensity. You imagine that with each flame you are destroying a piece of your history that is no longer beneficial to you. This could be an old feeling of loss, a failure from the past, or an outdated perception of yourself. This visualization is not merely a mental exercise. Rather, it is a spiritual cleansing that will cleanse your aura and get you ready for the next part of your destiny. It is therefore not an act of rejection to close the door on the past. Rather, it is an act of regeneration that requires courage. This statement serves as a confirmation of your dedication to personal development and your openness to embrace fresh starts. This comprehension is not merely a component of your trip. Rather, it is an essential component of your destiny, since you are the chosen one. Deeply engage and allow each stride away from what was to illuminate your path to what will be in the future instead. In addition, you are not merely adrift on this planet. Rather, you are fundamental members of a grand alliance, which is a cosmic alliance that has been forged across the upper realms. The fact that you are aware of and participate in interactions with higher spiritual entities is not a coincidence. Rather, it is an essential component of your divine destiny. You have been carefully selected not only for your abilities on Earth, but also for your affinity with the heavens, which is an intrinsic ability to communicate and work together with supernatural energies that other people are unable to see or even understand. This grand alliance is not a collection of spirits that have been chosen at random. Rather, it is a well-organized coalition of enlightened beings, each of whom was selected for their individual capabilities and experiences in the spiritual realm. As a member of this coalition, you play an important part by serving as channels of communication between the material world and the divine realm. This is not a responsibility that is given lightly. It demands a strong sense of duty and an amazing ability to listen, not just to the words that are uttered, but also to the silences that exist between them, the whispers of the cosmos that are not audible to the average person. This may become apparent in your day-to-day life, during times of isolation and thought, when the noise of the everyday world fades away, and the more profound and resonant signals of higher realms become more apparent. There is a possibility that you will experience visions, sensations, or even direct messages during these sacred times. These messages will direct your actions and impact the decisions that you make. These are not merely daydreams or thoughts that are taken for granted. Rather, they are communications of critical significance that are guiding the collective destiny of humanity in accordance with divine intentions. In addition, because of your position as listeners within this alliance, you have the opportunity to gain access to cosmic secrets and obligations that are not visible to the general public and never heard by them. You are aware of the cosmic currents that determine the ebb and flow of life on Earth, and you have access to the spiritual mechanics that lie beneath the surface of the cosmos. In addition to being a significant responsibility, having this knowledge is also a great privilege because it identifies you as guardians of the truth and creators of spiritual law. Furthermore, the duty extends to the manner in which you disseminate and make use of this information. It's not just about achieving enlightenment for oneself. It's also about spreading this knowledge in ways that help others become more knowledgeable and enlightened. You are able to translate the ethereal words of the Alliance into physical actions that have the potential to heal, inspire, and improve the world around you. This can be accomplished through teaching, receiving healing, or providing guidance. It is important to keep in mind that every single encounter you have and every single choice you make carries with it a cosmic importance that not only determines your own fate, but also the fate of the entire world. Not only are you having a life, but you are also playing a cosmic role that has repercussions that can be felt across multiple realms and multiple eras. When you are chosen, you have the privilege of living a life that is inextricably linked to the vast orchestration of the world. But it also comes with the burden of carrying that privilege. You are not only participants in the vast cosmic play, but you are also bearers of a profound legacy, a divine inheritance that speaks to you from the depths of your soul, urging you to recall and welcome the celestial origins that only you can comprehend. Stand out in the grand cosmic play. This waking to your divine lineage is not a journey that you undertake on your own. Rather, it is a journey that is directed by the powerful Archangel Michael, whose mentorship is reserved for those who are capable of facing the challenges of spiritual awakening. Not only does Archangel Michael, the great guardian and leader of celestial armies, offer protection, but he also offers profound wisdom that is specifically fitted to your individual spiritual blueprint. It is not a coincidence that he is a part of your life. Rather, it is an intentional design that serves as a demonstration of the essential position that you play in the spiritual realm. Under his watchful supervision, you are encouraged to explore deeply into the reservoirs of your memory in order to discover the holy spark that defines your actual self. For the purpose of facilitating this profound recall, some exercises are communicated to you. These are practices that others may find perplexing or inaccessible, but for you, they resound with a clarity that is almost heavenly in its intensity. You are urged to engage in quiet communion with the stars and beings that are as old as time itself as you engage in meditative reflection under the night sky. This is one of the practices that falls under this category. To you, these stars are not merely balls of flaming gas. Rather, they are emblems of your eternal nature, mirrors reflecting your own divine birth. The visualization of the luminous thread is yet another powerful exercise. This technique involves seeing a radiant thread that extends from your heart to the skies, so establishing a direct connection between you and the divine source. Your mind and spirit will be illuminated, with the truths of your celestial heritage as you envision this cord. This will allow the knowledge of your origins to travel down into your consciousness and illuminate your mind and spirit. The function that Archangel Michael plays in this process is extremely important. He not only shields you from the distractions and deceptions that could muddy your spiritual path, but he also gives you the strength and clarity that you need to confront the truths about where you came from. You will be able to progressively accept the full significance of your heritage with his direction, which will ensure that the path of remembering is not overwhelming, but rather empowering. Not only does this awakening modify your knowledge of yourself, but it also redefines your place in the world. This awakening is transformative because it does both for you. When you remember your divine roots, you are endowed with an unrivaled sense of purpose and power, which in turn motivates you to carry out your spiritual responsibilities with a fervor that you have never experienced before. The realities that you discover about yourself are not supposed to be kept hidden. Rather, they are meant to be lived out loud, and they do have the ability to influence your actions, decisions, and the course that you choose to take moving forward. Archangel Michael is the one who will lead you through the veils of forgetfulness and back to the luminous reality of your origins. Remembering who you actually are will allow you to recover not only your past, but also your future. This is both your pleasure and your job as a chosen one, to live in full acknowledgement and celebration of your divine inheritance. You, as chosen ones, have been called to a higher calling that requires an incredible aptitude to remain above the fray of the negativity that exists in the world. You have a mission that is very significant. Despite the fact that everyday chaos and the widespread spread of conflict are all around you, not only are you tasked with enduring, but you are also tasked with transcending, which means seeing above the muck of earthly distractions and establishing oneself in the search of higher understandings. This is the sacred challenge that you face, the one that will define your spiritual journey and distinguish you from the thousands of other people. Having an innate knowledge that what affects other people does not necessarily have to make you feel uneasy is the foundation for your exceptional ability to rise above the maelstrom. While you are aware of the strings of disorder, you make the conscious decision not to allow them to manipulate your spirit. For example, you are able to retain stability even when societal upheavals stimulate feelings of rage and terror among the general population, maintaining a detached attitude in the workplace where insignificant disagreements and office politics have the potential to sap one's energy, allows you to concentrate on your higher purpose and make a constructive contribution without getting sucked into confrontations that are not essential. However, in order to keep this elevated attitude, you need more than just the ability to exercise willpower. You need specific instruments for protection that only you, as the chosen ones, can properly grasp. These tools are not physical but spiritual, and they are designed to protect you against energies that are unnoticeable to the average sight but may be felt by your more developed senses. An example of such a tool is the shield of light, which is a protective technique in which you imagine surrounding oneself with a radiant shield that is capable of warding off negativity. The light that you see is not only a product of your imagination, rather it is a manifestation of your divine energy that is imbued with the ability to reject negative influences. One such method is called the grounding cord, and it involves visualizing a cord that extends from the base of your spine all the way down into the ground. This cord serves to firmly establish you in stability, regardless of the chaos that is occurring around you. In addition to this, the method of selective engagement can be utilized as a protective measure. You get the ability to recognize which conflicts are deserving of your efforts and which are distractions that are designed to stand in the way of your spiritual development. With this discernment, you are able to engage meaningfully in situations where you have the ability to bring about change and to withdraw from situations where involvement would result in spiritual depletion. Because they are your weapons in the spiritual conflict that is taking place behind the scenes, you should treat these tools and approaches with the seriousness that they deserve. You can fortify your spirit against the onslaught of worldly negativity by learning these protective tactics. This will ensure that your focus is not confused by the transitory and that it remains firmly rooted in the eternal. This is not merely a method for surviving, rather it is a plan for achieving victory, which will enable you to fulfill the divine mandate that has been given to you and to guide others by the force of your example. Your part is not limited to the rescue of your own soul. Rather, it involves the change of the spirit of the entire world, which is a feat that can only be accomplished via the force of unity consciousness. This profound interconnectedness enables you to make changes on a scale that others are unable to, allowing you to leverage the collective desire and energy of souls that are aligned to bring about dramatic shifts across the planet. You are not only able to comprehend the concept of unity consciousness, rather, it is a reality that you experience. One of the most profound realizations is the realization that all life is interrelated and that every action has repercussions throughout the entirety of existence. Because of this understanding, everything changes, including the way you interact with other people and the initiatives that you take steps to accomplish. For instance, when you are confronted with environmental degradation, you are able to comprehend not only the ecological repercussions, but also the spiritual and communal rifts that it generates. Your strategy for resolving this issue is not confined to taking practical actions. Rather, it requires calling a communal awakening to the sacredness of nature and motivating people to act not out of a sense of obligation, but rather out of a profound common connection to the earth. In order to put this magnificent vision into action, you must first establish a connection with your soul family, which consists of people that vibrate at the same vibrational frequency as you. Not only are they friends or allies, but they are also kindred spirits that are essential to the success of your quest. The process of connecting with your soul family takes more than just being physically close to one another. It also requires you to tune your spiritual antenna in order to identify those exceptional souls who have the ability to magnify your efforts and improve your spiritual resonance. The formation of communities with persons who share similar values provides a framework that may be put into practice for the implementation of unity consciousness. As a group, you could participate in synchronized meditations with the intention of mending societal divisions, establishing venues for the exchange of transformative information, or organizing collective activities that advocate for systemic reforms in government, economics, and social structures. These societies function on a level of spiritual alignment that is inconceivable to individuals who have not had the opportunity to experience the profound connectivity of their own divine essence. Therefore, the function that you play in this one-of-a-kind group should be taken seriously and with the level of commitment that it requires. Be conscious of the fact that every single link you create, every single community you fortify, and every single activity you coordinate under the flag of unity consciousness is a step toward the global transformation that you are uniquely suited to lead. In addition to being your mission, this is also your legacy, a demonstration of the power that may be harnessed via the channeling of unified action through divine knowledge and spiritual synchronicity. Involve yourself completely, for the capacity to reshape the world resides in the union of those who have been selected. You are currently on a voyage of ascension into higher dimensions. a trip that only a select few people fully comprehend. Your own essence is undergoing a real evolution, which is penetrating every area of your everyday life and choices. This is not a metaphorical ascension, rather it is a tangible evolution. Each and every action and decision that you make is built to resonate with a more profound cosmic frequency, and your alignment with these higher dimensions is conscious and deliberate. A lifestyle that is characterized by ascension is one in which even the most commonplace acts are imbued with a religious significance. These are not merely preferences, rather they are purposeful choices that are in alignment with your higher vibrating state. For example, whether you choose foods, pick conversations, or even choose the media you consume, these are all examples of deliberate choices. As an illustration, you might discover that you are drawn to foods that are not only nourishing to the body but also good to the spirit. For example, foods that are farmed with reverence for nature and enjoyed with thankfulness are examples of such foods. In the course of your interactions, you will most likely steer clear of insignificant concerns and instead focus on subjects that encourage personal development and enlightenment. Ascension is characterized by a set of indications and symptoms that are both subtle and profound, and they serve as indicators of your progression down this one-of-a-kind route. As your body adjusts to higher frequencies, you may feel periods of profound exhaustion followed by intervals of incredible energy. This is because your body is adjusting to the higher frequencies. It is possible that old emotional patterns and scars will come to the surface, demanding to be addressed and healed. This should not be viewed as a kind of punishment, but rather as an opportunity for profound cleaning and restarting. As you get a deeper understanding of the transience and play of the material world, your mental impressions begin to change. Things that first appeared to be significant may now appear to be of little consequence. You might feel a growing sense of connectedness with all life, a tactile sensation of being a part of a larger total that is both humbling and invigorating. This is something that you might experience on a spiritual level. For those of you who have been chosen, these experiences, despite the fact that they may be perplexing to others, are signposts of ascension. They confirm the incredible journey that you have been on, a road that other people don't necessarily acknowledge or comprehend. This voyage is a lonely experience, yet it has universal ramifications. For each step you take towards higher levels lifts not only your own spirit, but also the collective soul of humanity. This journey is interdisciplinary in its consequences. Prepare yourself to face this route with the bravery and dedication that it requires. Please be aware that every symptom and sign you experience is a manifestation of the profound change that you are currently going through. This is not a trip for those who are easily discouraged, but rather for those who have chosen to follow their spirit. The journey you are on is one of elevation, and every single step, every single decision, and every single obstacle is an essential component of this glorious ascension. As you continue to align with higher dimensions, it is important to keep in mind that you are not just ascending above the world, rather you are reforming it from inside. You carry a holy mandate that goes beyond the commonplace preoccupations of the worldly sphere. You have been given the responsibility of leaving behind a legacy of light, a beacon that shines brightly enough to cut through the haze of ignorance and apathy. This obligation, this dedication to the advancement of spirituality and peace, is not only a choice. Rather, it is your destiny, sewn into the very strands of your being, and it is acknowledged and welcomed by people who possess your exceptional constitution. Because you have such a profound awareness of the complicated realities that the universe contains, you are uniquely equipped to influence and enhance the consciousness of the wider human population. Not only does each act of peace that you initiate, each gesture of compassion that you share, and each moment of enlightenment that you share cause ripples throughout the cosmos, but it also transforms the cosmos. When you meditate for peace, you are not merely sitting in solitude. Rather, you are radiating tranquility throughout all dimensions. The act of teaching people the ways to reach their own inner light is more than just the transmission of information. It is also the activation of dormant energies that are waiting for your touch to awaken them. Keep in mind that the encounters you have on a daily basis are opportunities to make this commitment a reality. The choice you make in the face of confrontation when other people react with violence is to engage in discourse and to prioritize understanding. Your presence is a quiet refuge in circumstances that are plagued with tension and haste. It is a testimonial to a life that has been lived at a higher frequency. It is not via great acts that this legacy of light is constructed. Rather, it is through the quiet persistence of kindness and wisdom that defines your journey. One of the most profound truths that you, more than anybody else, are in a position to comprehend and negotiate is the inevitability of ascension happening along your path. This spiritual evolution is not a process that is widespread and experienced by the majority of people. Rather, it is a complex and profound metamorphosis that is reserved for those who have been selected. At the same time as you are going through changes that are both subtle and profound, you are going through changes that affect everything from your physical perceptions to the depths of your spiritual awareness. Every one of these shifts is a further confirmation that you are on the path that was predetermined for you. They are the milestones of your ascension. Accept the one-of-a-kind role that you play, with both humility and pride. It is important to acknowledge that your dedication to achieving peace and spiritual progress is not only a personal victory, but also a significant contribution to the maintenance of cosmic equilibrium. Through your actions, you are not merely living a life, rather you are leading a movement, a wave of transformation that will redefine the fundamental nature of existence for future generations. It is up to you to take control of this journey and this commitment. If you remain steadfast in the responsibility that you have chosen, you will not only accomplish your own personal advancement, but you will also propel the entire human race toward a more enlightened and brighter future. Your trip is a privilege, but it also comes with a significant amount of responsibility. You are intended to leave behind a legacy of light, so ensure that you go through life with wisdom, courage, and an everlasting commitment to that heritage. In conclusion, the cosmic call that is resonating across the ether is intended for you, the ones who have been chosen. At this moment, you are being called upon to assume the role of a spiritual leader and to steer the ascension of the planet with the enlightened perspective that you alone possess. This call, which is spoken in the hallways of the higher dimensions, is only heard by your soul, and it is your responsibility to respond to it with the full force of your divine talents. Every choice you make, every action you do, and every moment of insight you have affects the wider cosmic scheme. You have been assigned with a purpose that goes beyond the typical activities of everyday life. The roles that you play are not given to you by random. Rather, they are a demonstration of the exceptional capabilities that you possess and the profound faith that the universe has in your skills. Whether you are attempting to calm the storms of human conflict, heal the wounds of the earth, or boost the spirits of people who are lost in despair, the acts that you take are extremely important. Having you there has a transforming effect. You should answer this call with the certain knowledge that you were selected for this particular purpose. Your tremendous empathy for all forms of life, your ability to communicate with higher spiritual entities, and your extraordinary insights into the essence of reality are not merely fortuitous characteristics. Rather, they are the instruments that have been placed upon you for the purpose of accomplishing this duty. Each new day presents you with a blank canvas on which you can paint with the hues of peace, enlightenment, and evolution. By doing so, you have the ability to influence not just the vibrational energies of your local environment, but also those of the entire globe. In the process of assuming your new role, I strongly encourage you to talk about the experiences and stories you've had. Give them the opportunity to learn about the journeys you have taken, the obstacles you have conquered, and the achievements you have experienced. For those who are still navigating the fog, your trip serves as a beacon, and it is a lighthouse for spirits that are looking for the shore. Through the act of sharing, you are not only recounting your experiences, rather, you are extending a hand to those others who may one day join you in this incredible cosmic endeavor. Therefore, get up, you who have been chosen, and respond to the cry that reverberates throughout the dimensions. Ensure that you are at the vanguard of spiritual leadership, for it is in your hands that you hold the power to shape the future, to change the course of destiny, and to illuminate the world with the legacy of light that only you are capable of leaving behind. Your way is unmistakable, your function is important, and the time to act is right now.